Hey everybody, Logan here. Today we're talking, remember this console? This is the best-selling console in terms of speed of all time. Fastest selling console. Yeah, I haven't talked about the Switch 2 in a little bit, but now we're going back to it. Why? Because, well, remember these Joy-Con, these Mobapad M12 HD, very popular, very great, very nice, right? But they came out with another one. So Mobapad sent me those, I reviewed them, thought they were fantastic, but now we have another one behind me here, and that is the M12S. I bet you're saying, hey Logan, what's the difference? Protocol, and a few other things. So if you're looking for something that runs on purely native Switch 2 protocol, the 12S might be just that for you. So we got a number of other differences. We'll go through them. Let's test them out, see if it's any good. I'm hoping so. Let's take a look. Here we go. We've got the Mobapad M12S for Switch 2. Now let me get it out of the way because I did mention in the intro, we have the M12 HD here and the S here. So the big thing is the protocol. This runs on Switch 2 protocol, where these run on Switch 1 protocol. So think of them as basically legacy Joy-Con or Switch 1 Joy-Con, because that protocol was much more easier to manipulate. And well, so it's Switch 2 Joy-Con, but Switch 1 basically. So few other things, we have TMR here, we have micro mechanical buttons, 9-axis motion controls. Now that's one thing, this only has 6, this has 9. Power save feature mode, they both have that. Now the big thing is rumble. This has HD rumble, this does not. Not sure why they went with that, but for someone who wants a solid Switch 2 option, this is going to be your best bet. This also has the C button instead of a macro button. So there we go. Now excuse the little damage, it did get dinged during shipping, but everything I mentioned on the front. We have here TMR. Now you do have the replaceable D-pad, 9-axis instead of 6, RGB lighting, so you get the little lighting areas, mechanical buttons, power save feature, which is also available on this one, and M1, M2 buttons, which are very similar to the GL and GR, and then settings button and chat button. So, all right, chat button will open up your online chat, of course, if you are playing Switch Online. So let's open it up. There we go. I bet you're going to say, wow, Logan, those look identical. So if you look here, you look down there, yeah, they look identical. But here you're going to notice that there's an M button here, there's the C button there. So that's going to be your big giveaway. Otherwise, yeah, let's turn off the Switch 2 for a moment, and then we're going to pop off the Joy-Con and take a quick look. So, yeah. There's no power, need to be charged, but you're gonna have the same lighting effect. But again, I wanna show you C button, M button. That's pretty much it. You can see I actually use it, so. Design, identical. So yeah, it's all what's under the hood. So let's take these off. Set those aside. I do have the case down over here. It comes with the same exact case. Now you have both Joy-Con, and in here, I love this one. They have the D-pad and the Chai 2 silent, which I have right here. It's my go-to Switch 2 Pro controller. You guys wonder, there's 2 controllers that have become my everyday go-to, and that is one of them. So let's pop this on, and then pop this on, turn on the console, hopefully, boom, there we go. Oh, okay, so what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to charge these because they have no power whatsoever. I was hoping they would eat off the power. They do, but yeah, see, they go off. They do use the power of the console, but they need to be charged. They are completely dead. So how about we charge it and then come right back to it. Here we go. Finally, the Joy-Con are charged. So I have it in pair mode. So as soon as you take it off, boop, it recognizes, turns on, boop, recognizes. There you go. It shows you that they're there. See? Turn up the volume, turn up the brightness. Everything works beautifully. We got mechanical buttons. Now, one thing, like I mentioned earlier, these do not have HD rumble. You will feel the difference, definitely. The sticks are really nice. D-pad, you can still swap it out depending on which one you want. There you go. We'll just leave this one on for the time being. You still have the two lights there. Now, one thing I did notice about these afterwards, the triggers and the back buttons are gray. So these buttons, shoulder, trigger, flappy paddles, all gray. So you will never mix them up. Same thing with the bottoms of these sticks. So you don't have to worry about that. Otherwise, comfort, it feels beautiful. What should we test in? I always like to test it. Let's go Marvel Cosmic Invasion. All right, so using this game, it really helps to determine how responsive the controls are, and I really like testing it. Okay, so that feels great. I will say that using the stick, it's fine. D-pad is fine. Face buttons are fine. Now, if you're not a fan of mechanical buttons, that's where you're going to have the issue. But otherwise, it feels exactly like the other one. Now, there is one thing that Mobapad also sent me, and that is the Mobapad M12S charging grip. So having the charging grip, you could charge it off the dock as well. Makes life a little easier. Also, since it is native Switch 2, you can use it as a controller. So let's open this up. Pretty simple. You got the Mobapad branding, you got the lights, and the rails all the same color. So let's take these off real quick. Put the buttons in the back like normal. We got it. Boop, boop. Little snug. They don't snap in like they would on the Switch. That is, I don't know. Maybe it just needs a few. Okay, that's better. Just a few. That's better. All right. So we do that. Boom. Let's move that up there. The rumble's not bad. Even though it is in HD, you can clearly tell.
No discipline. Don't get up.
Buttons are quick. No input delay. I think it's very nice whether using it in Joy-Con mode or controller mode, it's still very comfortable, much more comfortable than using the standard Joy-Con by any means. Oh, it picked it up. So yeah, going back to it, I know I sound like a broken record in all my videos. I don't like Joy-Con. I never really liked the Joy-Con 1 nor the Joy-Con 2. Do I think these are better? Yes, but there's no grip to that. There's no comfort in holding this. I've always been one of those people that either puts on some kind of a case or finds these Joy-Con alternatives. And honestly, these being native Switch 2 protocol, these might be my new favorites. I've always liked the M12 HD, but I think the S is going to be standard for me because of the Switch 2 protocol. And honestly, I like how the buttons stand out. The gray, it actually matches what I have back there. So my case. There you go. What do you guys think? I definitely think it's one to choose. I'm a big fan, always have been. There we go. Of a lot of Mobapad stuff, especially the Chai 2. This is my favorite Switch 2 controller. I have 2 others, but we're not talking about those. We're talking about Mobapads. This is definitely in my top 3. So, and this is the Silent. This is definitely my favorite. Up until then, I was using the standard with the mechanical buttons, but I prefer the Silent. That's the only thing. If you guys, again, haven't watched my channel, and if you haven't, where have you been? Hit that subscribe button. I actually prefer membrane over mechanical, depending on what I'm playing. I like it being quieter, but if I want something like a fighting game or a beat 'em up, I really go towards mechanical just because of how quick and how low the latency is. So I like that response time. I like low latency. So it really depends. But if I'm playing a game like, here, let's go back. Pokopia, it doesn't matter. Star Fox, it does. Mortal Kombat, it does. Devil May Cry, WWE 2K26, I could take it or leave it. Street Fighter, yes. Final Fantasy, no. The Nintendo 64, it doesn't really matter. Animal Crossing, no. Mario Kart World, no. Mario Wonder, maybe. So, but there you go, just so you see what I'm playing. Now, I have noticed that Marvel Cosmic Invasion, it really depends on the controller. I think this one performs just as well as any of the others. But again, like I said, this is one of my favorites, and these will clearly be my new favorite Joy-Con 2 replacements. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video. Thank you, Mobapad, once again, for sending me some amazing quality controllers and products. Love them. Loved them ever since. You know, I was originally skeptical when they first reached out, but they've blown my mind, and they've been just quality products thus far. So again, thank you guys so much. Like we always say, God bless each and every one of you, and be legendary. Thanks again.